Welcome to Season 4 of She Lancer, Mom Entrepreneur with VoiceOver Angela. I'm your host, Angela. I'm a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator, and this podcast are the audio versions of my live Q&A chats on YouTube. If you'd like to be part of the live Q&A chats, come on over to my YouTube channel, VoiceOver Angela. I'm live every Tuesday at 12 p.m. EST. We talk about voiceover, the business of voiceover, audiobooks, and so much more. Find more information on my website, voiceoverangela.com. Enjoy today's episode. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for joining me again today for another live community chat. I appreciate you all being here. If you're new here, welcome. We welcome you with warm, open, loving, supportive arms. My name is Angela. I am a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator, and my channel here on YouTube is dedicated to those of you just getting started out in this wonderful world of voiceover and audiobook narration, of course. And through my channel, I share with you some tips and tricks and techniques and all of the fun things that I have learned throughout my journey into this industry. If you're not new here, then you know every week we have a poll, and that is typically the topic at hand for today's chat. And today's poll is, where do you find most of your audiobook work? And of course, this question comes from a lot of the questions that I get from my viewers and from questions I get all over social media and direct emails and things. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So if you're watching right now, and even if the poll options aren't a place for you, like if you find your audiobook work in something in a place other than what is available in the options for the poll, then please share that in the comments. The goal for today is to show everybody watching who's interested in getting into audiobook narration that there are more places to find audiobook work than just ACX Audible. So let's share where to find these places or other methods of securing audiobook work. Okay, let's go over to the poll. And so far, we have 19 votes. It looks like the majority of you, 84% of you said ACX. And 11% of you said Fiverr or Upwork, and 5% of you said direct marketing, cold call, email, which is awesome. I think more people should do that. For me, I would say I'm in the Fiverr Upwork category. For the majority, I'd say maybe 80% of the audiobooks that I currently do come from either Fiverr or Upwork, mainly Fiverr, I would say at this point. And I do have about the other remaining 20% of people find me on my YouTube channel. So that could be social media marketing, right? I'm not directly marketing to publishers or authors with my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel, of course, is directed towards other voice actors and audiobook narrators, but they find me based on the content that I post, which is kind of indirect social media marketing, right? Really wasn't the purpose or the intent, but that's how it ended up, how they ended up finding me. So again, I'm going to stress the importance of getting visible, being visible on social media platforms, because they can be so helpful in growing your voiceover or audiobook narration business. And I've said it a million times before, and you guys are probably going to roll your eyes, but that's where everybody is, right? Social media is huge, always has been, and is even bigger now than it has ever been. And especially with video, bite-sized video, little distractions from daily life. That's where people are, that's where they are. They're going to videos for entertainment, excuse me, entertainment, information, and just distraction, right? So be one of those videos that they see. And you don't have to share strictly audiobook or voiceover content. You could share a little bit about yourself, right? Something funny or some witty comment that somebody had said to you or some situation that you were in or share about your other loves, right, Eric? Or we can talk about something else that you enjoy in your personal life and make your most of your content about that. Or just share your journey, right? Where you started, where you currently are, where you're growing into, what your aspirations are. Oh God. Okay, that's my mouth telling me, okay, you're done. You're done with the tangent. You're done. All right, let's go. Let's get rid of that. Let's go over to the comments and see who's here. First in is Robert Reed. Hey, Robert. How you doing, buddy? Robert says hi. Angela says hello back. Hopefully it is working. Yes, it is working, Robert. Good to see you. Caesar says, this should be interesting. I've figured all I need for an outsider like me to join ACX. Okay, first of all, we're not going to say that we're not going to say that we're an outsider, that we're anything less than what we are, right? And I know what you're talking about as far as where you live, right? We're only going to use positive language because it does help. Trust me. It will require a considerable monetary investment, but I'm working my way towards it. There are other platforms, of course, and that is really the point of today's discussion, is that you don't have to rely strictly on ACX to find audiobook work. With a little bit of elbow grease and a little creativity, you can find it elsewhere. Right? We are not limited to just ACX. Caesar then says, in addition, I'm also gearing up to launch both Fiverr and Upwork profiles. Good. That way I can completely abandon my current web dev day job, which currently are my golden handcuffs. And that's okay. I wouldn't say completely get rid of it unless that was your goal all along, was to replace that income with voiceover audiobook narration income. If it's something that you're good at and you can do remotely, why not? Why not just, that's more income. That's another stream of income for you. I wouldn't abandon it unless you need to, have to, want to. Caesar says, that said, hello, Angela. Hello, Caesar. Good to see you. Hello, everyone. I hope I don't sound like a broken record by thanking everyone for keeping me in check and making sure I'm on track towards success. I appreciate all of you. And hello, Robert. Yes, it is working. We appreciate you, Caesar. I want to see more of you outside of the group. I want to see your name in lights somewhere. Eric. Hey, Eric. Eric says, my sitch. 99% is ACX, but I'm trying to branch out to other platforms and or get clients to come to me. And then that is ideally what we want, right? But as we know, as business owners, one of the many hats that you will wear as a business owner is the marketing hat. You need to keep the pipeline filled, or at least attempt to, right? You need to keep people, you need to stay in the eye line. You need to stay in sight. You need to stay top of mind. You need people to even meet you for the first time on the internet, right? And the easiest way to do that is to stay visible and heard, in our case, is on social media. And the most beautiful part about that is that it's free. It's free to post this content. It takes you a little bit of time. Yeah, a little bit of a learning curve and learning some of the software, like if you're creating video. And I guess depending on how complex you want the video to be, you might need to learn to use video editing software. But I think the end result would far outweigh the trouble and time it took to do that, right? Okay. Dylan says, almost all ACX other than a couple of jobs that were offered directly to me by returning clients. And that is another thing. Take good care of your current clients. And we were talking about this yesterday in our Discord. Your customer service hat is one of the most important hats that you're going to wear as a business owner. If it's just you wearing all of these hats in your business, one of the most important ones, and I think I even credit my own growth to my customer service hat. Treat everybody as if you want to be treated, as like you would want to be treated, right? That makes sense? You know what I mean, right? Treat everybody how you would like to be treated. Have a little bit of patience and, use your discernment. Of course, there's going to be language barriers because we do work with global clientele, right? International clients. So there might be language barriers and things, but if you exercise a little bit of patience and ask clarifying questions and treat everybody professionally and politely, that will take you so much further. And in Dylan's case, will earn you not only repeat business, but referrals as well. Because if they're happy with the end result and the way that they were treated or the way that they feel that they were treated, they're going to happily refer you to their friends. I wouldn't refer somebody to a friend or family member if I didn't think they were going to be taken care of. Yeah, they might get a great product, but were they treated like garbage in the process? I definitely wouldn't want to share that name with my friends or family, right? So polite, professional at all times, and that will take you far. Dylan says, Caesar, I'm glad you're launching your profile soon. Yes, I'm glad too. I really think you're going to do great with your voice and audio engineering knowledge. Absolutely, 100% agree. It's about time, Caesar. You should have had those last year. MG Stevens says, good morning, Angela and everyone. Good morning, MG Stevens. Pamela says, good morning from sunny LA. Well, for today at least. Yeah. Is it, I think we had a storm overhead. I'm sure it came from your part. Ben. Hey, Ben. How you doing, Ben? Good morning. Eric says, hi, Pam. Clouds fog has already burned away for me this morning. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. I think it's sunny here. It was we had like possibly rain in the forecast. I don't know, but right now it's sunny here. Robert says, I'm doing better. Good, Robert. Miller time says, your older videos are the reason I've taken the leaps I have. You are one of my biggest inspirations. Oh, stop. And I am so thankful for sharing your knowledge and expertise. Thankful for me sharing. Well, if you have knowledge and expertise, I highly recommend that you share that too, of course. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Miller Time, for making my day with that comment. I appreciate you. And I'm glad that my videos help. That's all I can ask, right? That's my only hope, is that those videos just help. But thank you. I'm glad they help. Facebook user, this is Allie Miller. Well, hello, Allie Miller. Fiverr, ACX, and social media. Yeah, she's got a very strong TikTok presence. I'm not really big with some of the other platforms, like I always keep wanting to call it Twitter, but X and then Instagram. I'm more active on Facebook and YouTube, but if she puts half the effort and the other platforms as she does to TikTok, then I'm sure she's doing just fine. But I think that, Allie, you could also agree about the impact of social media, right? Making connections, not only with the people that we're seeking to, give our service or offer our services to, but also to other narrators, voice actors, right? Because they can also refer clients your way too. If maybe they're not a good fit, but they know that you may be, they'll refer the client your way. So making those connections on social media is important. Eric says, LOL, I'm working on it. Good. Rob the Maritimer says hello and good morning. Good morning, Rob. Getty Gibbs. Hey, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. I currently have a commercial demo right now, and I'm working towards getting back to ACX when I work full time. Nice. I think having demos in all of the different subgenres of voiceover and or audiobook narration is important, and to have those on hand, because you never know when somebody's going to ask you for one. And then you say, oh, yeah, I'll give it to you when I have it. And then maybe you either spend too much time on it, overthinking it, and then you miss your opportunity or you forget about it, right? It's better to have that stuff on hand, and then you can always refresh them, because again, we just inherently get better as we go along. We find new effects, new ways to tweak the EQ to make a sound even better, a new mic position, whatever it is, performance, right? We just inherently get better as we go. So we refresh our demos every, 3 to 6 months, maybe. Chrissy is here. Hi, Chrissy. Good morning, Angela and everyone. My PFH work is 50/50 ACX and Fiverr. I get rights holder books on ACX as well, so I answered ACX. Okay. But thank you for sharing that. I think Fiverr and Upwork are overlooked quite a bit for audiobook work. And it can be tricky to set the pricing up on a Fiverr gig to match your per finished hour rate. It takes a little bit of mathing to get it right, a little bit of trial and error, but you can, because obviously audiobooks are priced very differently than just regular voiceover work. So getting the pricing right on your audiobook Fiverr gig is probably going to take a little bit more effort and time than your other gigs. But again, I would say, 80%? No. I would say between Fiverr and Upwork, I'd say about 70% of my audiobooks come from Fiverr, and then 10% of those two freelance marketplace platforms, 10% of that from Upwork. So by far worth it to have a audiobook gig on Fiverr. Brian is here. Hey, Brian, how you doing? Michelle is here. Hello, Michelle. Morning. Anxious to hear about your weekend. Joy is here, the embodiment of joy. How you doing, Joy? I can hear you giggling right now. Hello, everyone from sunny 65 degrees Southfield, Michigan. We're almost about the same temperature right now. Crazy. There was another platform that I joined for audiobooks called Ahab. Any thoughts? Oh, yeah. Ahab is Penguin, right? Yeah, that's a good one to be. But the only thing about some of those publishing houses, online publishing house, it's just a roster. You can't really audition for anything. So you just have to make sure that your demos are fresh, they sound good, and that you're available, right? You can't really be proactive on those sites. It's not new. It's been around for a while, but that's a good one to be on. Caesar says, I'm actually very good at my day job. I just loathe it passionately as it reminds me too much of my old work environment. I want VO to be my bread and butter and content creation and music down the line. I think that is a good path. I think that's a very good path. I think all three of those marry very well together. So I think that is a genius move. I think that's an excellent move. Brian says ACX. What I'm loving about ACX is that it has given me a start. That being said, these audiobooks is a lot of work. Yes, they are. And I think a lot of people don't really realize that. I've had a number of authors reach out to me and say, hey, I want to narrate this myself. I just need someone to tell me how to do it. And so I've worked with a handful of authors in helping them to produce their own audiobooks. And then usually somewhere in the middle or in the end, they go, it was so much more work than I was anticipating. I said, yeah, I mean, that's why our rates are what they are. It's a lot of work. It's a lot more than you would think. But they are a lot of work. And to your point, ACX is because you can be proactive, because you can audition for books on ACX instead of just like Ahab, like sitting on the roster and waiting for someone to find you. You can be proactive and go out and look for work and audition actively on ACX. So it is a little bit easier to get started a little bit faster, per se, on ACX than it is probably anywhere else. Laura Lieben is here. Lieben? Is it Lieben or Lieben? Laura says, can we talk about becoming a go-to narrator with an audiobook publisher? Some hold auditions. Most seem unapproachable. Do you have any tips or ideas to share in this area? It's hard to become a go-to narrator because the ultimate choice of which voice is chosen is up to the rights holder or the author, right? Typically, what publishing houses will do is they'll have a roster of talent and then they'll share maybe even who they think would be best suited based on what the rights holder is looking for. They'll share those demos with the rights holder and then they will choose the narrator from that point. So it's all very like subjective, right? From the author rights holder's point of view, it's not so much the publisher. So it's hard to be the go to. But I think good practices to help you be um, maybe at the top of the list most of the time, if your voice is suitable for the project, is to have good customer service, right? Answer any kind of correspondence from the publisher quickly, politely, professionally, right? Give them what they're looking for. If they're asking you a question, answer that question. I mean, it's kind of common sense, right? But if you're communicating quickly and professionally, then they'll consider you probably more often than other people who don't, right? Because if they're going to hire you, they want their client, the author, to be happy. So if getting a hold of you for revisions or pickups or something is, takes 2 weeks to do it, then they might not consider you, right? So think of it that way. But reaching out to larger publishing houses to see if they have an online roster like Ahab is a good thing to do. Or if they have, some publishers even have their own set of in-house narrators. So this goes along sort of with when we talked about online or finding out who to market to and who the direct person is to market to online. So when you're searching for publishing houses, either indie or large publishers, then, you know, looking at their website, getting a little bit of information about them, and then finding out if they have an online roster of remote narrators, meaning all of us in our home studios, or if they have their own roster of in-house, meaning they're not accepting anybody outside of who they already have. Right, so find that out, and if they are looking for remote narrators, then definitely ask them if they're accepting new narrators for their roster, right? But again, I think customer service, customer service, customer service. That's one of the most important hats you can wear. Damon Ray says, "Hello, Angela," or "Hey, Angela," from Damon, UK. Well, hello. Did I say that right? Is it Damon? It looks like Damon. I've never been there, so I don't know. I apologize. Miriam is here. Hey, Miriam. When you mentioned keeping in contact with previous clients within ACX, would you go back to the authors you narrated for and see if any of their books they might be working on would fit my voice? Um, I mean, even if I thought I was the perfect voice for something, the author might not think that. So it's hard to say. It's really up to the rights holder as if you're the perfect voice for it or not. But if it's the same or a similar sort of genre or content from something that you've previously done, then I would definitely reach out. Or you could just send them a message and just say, because you don't want to come off sounding like possessive or, like territorial or something, because that can be off-putting to people. But if you just saw that they had something else available, you can just send them a message directly and say, hey, I just checking in with you. How's everything going? Have any new projects on the table? Would you be open for an audition for maybe this new book, right? That's how I would probably approach it. But just checking in, like, hey, how's it going? If it's around the holidays, hey, happy holidays. Just wanted to check in, see how everything's going, right? That's going back to staying top of mind, right? Staying in the eye line, staying visible with clients, with new clients and future clients or past clients. Yeah, I think I said that right. Facebook user, good morning, everyone. This is Colette. Hey, Colette, how you doing? John Walker says ACX. Okay, good. It's a good place to start. Allie says, yes, you can make connections on social media. Yeah, Allie, I would believe it. Allie's killing it on TikTok. Yes, making connections is important. Yes. Relationships. Facebook user, this is Edson. Hey, Edson, how are you? I haven't seen you like forever. How you doing? Hi. Hello. MG Stevens says, I have gotten all audiobooks from ACX. I had trouble trying to get my first Fiverr customer, so I paused it. I'm working on it to give it another go. All the bites I got were clear scams, so soon I hope. Don't get discouraged by some of the time that it takes to get bites on your Fiverr gigs. It is a long-term game. It's what is it called? A long game, right? It takes work and it takes time and it takes patience. But once you start to build your book of business on Fiverr and treat your new clients well, and then they'll eventually come back to you and then they'll eventually start referring you. And then, it just sort of starts to snowball. So you have to have patience and stay with it. Don't pause your gig if you're not getting any bites, because especially with audiobooks, it's a larger price point. It's a larger project. So those are going to be larger dollar amounts. And those are going to be a lot fewer and further between than, say, like an IVR order, which you might see one or two of those every day. You might see one or two audiobooks, even just bites in a month, because it's a larger price point, right? Not everybody is going to be able and willing to spend that much money up front, right? Not when there's other options like Royalty Share and Royalty Share Plus through ACX. So you're targeting to a limited number of people with a larger price point. So you can't expect to get bites on that all the time. But the bites that you do get, if they are what you consider to be scammy, then at least you're being seen. That's how I would take it. At least people are finding you. They can see you. So they're going to reach out and communicate with you. So I would say unpause it. Make sure that your pricing is accurate to what your current rates are, and just stick with it. Just let it sit, let it simmer. Every once in a while, like this just happened to me. I had nothing for audiobooks on Fiverr for a couple of months. And then all of a sudden I got two within 2 days of each other, and then nothing for like maybe another couple weeks. And then I got just one the other day. I mean, you got to let it just sit and wait. RPV says, hi, Angela in chat. I'm new here, but I know the rules. Donuts are in the break room. Yes, that's awesome. Thanks for the 101 Friday, Angela. Your info helped a lot. And I never even thought about getting into video games. Yes, video games for sure. It was great talking to you. Caesar says, donuts are in the break room. Munch, munch. Not anymore. VO Kev says, just had a question about having my business account that only accepts payments from other business accounts and not personal ones. Question is, have you ever had someone try to pay from a personal account? I just use invoices, period. I use PayPal Business for invoices. I send invoices to be paid. And with PayPal, the buyer can use any form of payment that they want, but it gets paid to you through PayPal. That's pretty much it. I don't work any other way. I don't do Venmo. I don't do any of that. It's PayPal invoice or nothing, basically, for clients. And that might help you to squash any other fears or issues you may be seeing or having. But that's just how I work. You guys do what you want to do, but that's what I do. JCC AOL says, morning, Angela. I'm on time today, so no donuts. Croissants. I'll take a croissant. I like me some croissants, the flaky and buttery goodness. Christine says, greetings, everyone. Greetings to you, Christine. Thanks for being here. John Walker says, I've been successful with ACX. I have about 25 books on Audible, Amazon. Congratulations. Suddenly, the efforts have begun to bear fruit, but looking for other outlets. Good. Well, I'm hoping that you picked up a couple of nuggets today, right? Because again, just for any business, that marketing hat is another important one to wear. You can't just sit on your laurels and wait for business to come to you. You can't. You're not going to grow that way. You have to get out there and get creative, get proactive, go out and find the business. You got to make moves on your own. That is part of having a business. You have to work on it. Work for it. Laura says, thanks, Angela. Great insights. I appreciate you. That's awesome. Damon says, Damon's my name, not a place. Nailed the pronunciation, though. But you said Damon, UK, right? Didn't you? Either way, I'm just glad that I said your name right. Don Breen says, I am not at this point yet, so I will be at the back of the class absorbing everything and looking cute. Why not? At least, again, I don't do these to make you guys feel obligated to chat. Because we have team replay too. So I'm just hoping that anything that I say or anybody else says is going to be helpful in some way, shape, or form to you watching at home. So I'm glad that you're taking it all in, letting it wash over you. Ryder Dude is here. Good morning, everyone. To Caesar, don't worry, I brought more donuts. Fabulous. VO Kev says 70 degrees here in Kalamazoo. Warming up, right? It was like freezing cold for a while, and now it's warming up again. Angel, hey Angel, says hello from Dallas, where it's 80 degrees in February. It's too early for that. It's too early for that nonsense. Question off topic. How did you hang your sound blankets? Tips on how to... Oh, I used some super heavy duty thumbtacks. They're not like the small office corkboard thumbtacks. They were like industrial mugs. I thought that I had them in here, but I don't. But they were pretty heavy duty thumbtacks. That's what I used to just tack them to the wall. Because, I think a singular little nail, like a little bit of nail filler, is, not too hard to do later on if we decide to take it down or move or whatever. Facebook user, this is Colette. If you're looking for your first book, 3 to 5 minutes, what sort of fee should you be looking for? 3 to 5 minutes? You mean 3 to 5 hours? 3 to 5 finished hours? What sort of fee should you be looking for? Ultimately, your fee is up to you. I can tell you where I started. I started at $50 per finished hour for my first few books. Because I felt that I still didn't know enough, wasn't skilled enough, right? I was holding myself back with, negative thoughts about myself and what I could do, but I wasn't comfortable charging a larger rate until I was more experienced. So that's what I did. But ultimately, your rates are up to you. Colette, you can start with whatever you want to in the beginning. Obviously, the more the better, but whatever fee is comfortable for you. Janelle says, hi, Angela and Angelinians. I use ACX and in person. It's scary, but exciting when a new project happens, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Old Slacker says, I had an audition turned down for a book about success, so I always appreciate the irony. And it doesn't mean that you're not successful. It doesn't mean that you stink. It doesn't mean that you don't have what it takes to do this. It just means you weren't the right voice for that project, according to the rights holder. That's it. Don't look any further into it than that. Next. Go on to the next one. Randall says, I also have another off-topic question. Hope that's okay. Since I'm just getting started, was wondering what tips you have for voice care to get the most out of your voice. I drink tea latza with honey. I do the same. I also do one of those steam inhalers from time to time. I would say taking breaks and giving yourself rest is also important. Hydration is also important. Eating right, exercising is important. You wouldn't think so, but this is a very physically demanding job. Not so much as someone hucking luggage, in an airline or something like that, but you want to stay in tip-top shape. I mean, everything sort of in your body, everything sort of works together in harmony. So if you're going to be sedentary, if you're going to be sitting a lot, you need to make sure that you're moving, right? Exercising those lungs, exercising that heart. But I think for me, taking breaks is very important. If you start to feel kind of gravelly and sore, take a break. So I think my rule in this studio, since I'm full-time, this is all that I do. I'll work for 2 to 3 hours and then I take a break. No matter what I'm doing or where I'm at, I'll take a break. So I think max 3 hours, and then I'll take a break for half an hour, drink tea, hydrate, eat some food if I need to. I think that's a good habit. My cup of tea says, do I need to have a business account set up before setting up with ACX? No. Mm-mm. You don't need to have you don't need to be like an LLC or anything like that to start with ACX. You can be just a like sole proprietor freelancer. Mm-mm. Dylan says, I'm about to hit the con scene here in Michigan to hand out some business cards and put my name and face out there to indie publishers. I think that's a fabulous idea. And if you have any cons like Comic-Con, give me some more examples. The different conferences of different things that people like. Think Comic-Con, I think, is probably one of the most easily recognizable. Attend those because that's a great place to market in person, right? So if you go to like a video game con, you can end up being the voice of somebody's indie game. You never know. Go there also and make connections and have business cards or some way to share your information, your website, your contact information, something. I think that's a great idea, Dylan. MG Steven says, thanks for Fiverr encouragement. On keeping in contact with customers, I sent Thanksgiving and Christmas cards to all customers. That was nice of you. I had a good response on those. We'll be sending Easter Spring out soon. I think this is where sites like, what is it? Constant Contact and some of the other like email, what's the other one? MailChimp, where you can like schedule certain kinds of emails to people just to stay top of mind. That's just like one less thing that you have to manually do. You have sites like that will do that for you, like little touches, little email touches to your customers. Dwight says, with a bowed head, I humbly offer donuts. Thank you, Dwight. It's okay if you're late. Hop in, hop out. But thank you for the donuts. My cup of tea says, thank you very much. This is definitely on my to-do list this week then. Good. MG Steven says, I did these low key, being thankful for them, not asking keep me in mind or hey, keep me in mind or anything like that. Just letting them know they are appreciated, even though I hope it helps me I think so. I think so, because I can tell you from my car business days when I was a department manager, when the vendors that I worked with would send me touch points or come around on Christmas time and bring, whiskey or chocolates or something, of course, that's going to make me remember them, right? It's the same kind of thing. Staying top of mind, thanking and appreciating your clients is always going to make, I think, more of an impact in the long run because you did something above and beyond what other people are doing, right? Not only staying top of mind, but adding something positive to their impression of you. I think those are all good things. Definitely all good things. All right, let's check. We got 53 people in here watching. Thank you for watching. Please hit that like button. I really appreciate it. It helps my YouTube algorithms. That goes for you too, Team Replay, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I appreciate you. Let's check the poll really quick like. So today's poll question again was, where do you find most of your audiobook work? Because again, the point of today was to show you guys that ACX is not the only place to find audiobook work. And I highly recommend branching out and exploring new ways of finding audiobook clients. That would be authors or publishing houses or both, right? Because this kind of goes along with not putting all of those eggs in one basket, right? Diversifying a little bit your reach, where you're finding your clients or where they're finding you. And I think social media is a huge one. It's a really big one. And Eric had brought this up a couple times in our Platinum group about reviewing the different ways and different platforms, social media platforms, in which how to structure them, how to create content, what kind of content. I think that's a great idea. I think we'll implement that in one of our group sessions next month in March. I think that's a great idea, Eric. And just having this conversation today has just highlighted the need for that, I think, a little bit more. So I think we'll definitely do that. So currently we have about 38 votes. Go ahead and throw in your vote on the poll if you haven't already. So 38 votes, 82% of you said ACX, 13% of you said Fiverr or Upwork. And again, don't overlook those platforms. There be audiobooks and then there hills, right? You just gotta set it up and they'll come. And then 5% of you said direct marketing, zero, big fat goose egg of you said social media marketing. And I think that is probably one of the easiest and most effective ways of finding or making connections with clients. So I highly recommend that you guys look into social media marketing. And again, that doesn't have to be you going, hey, hire me, I'm a voice actor. And you don't have to do any of that. Just sharing your day to day, like a little bit of your personal life, the things that you enjoy doing, your loves, you know, I can see myself on the screen doing this. Oh my God. And then every once in a while, throw in a little bit of content, a little bit of behind the scenes of you doing something, you know, related to audiobook work or voiceover work. And I know I could tell you a few different people that I know off the top of my head that do this and have found a lot of success. And I think most of that comes from TikTok, making the connections on TikTok. So don't overlook it. I know it's a little bit of extra work, but you know what? That's what it takes when you have a business. It's work. Yes, you have your own schedule, but it's still work. It's still work to maintain that business. And that is number one and most important thing for that business is to keep that pipeline full, to keep building relationships. Yes. All right. Let's see what we got for. I think this might be our last comment. I've got a pot roast that I need to go get in the crock pot. Leslie says, good morning, all. ACX so far for narration. Excuse me. And I'm checking into several indie publishers and authors. Some have requirement of punch and roll audio. Punch and roll is or punch raw audio. I'm not sure what you mean there, but if you're talking about punch and roll, it's a way of recording. There's two different ways to do it. There's punch and roll, which is when you record, and if you make a mistake, you stop the recording, go back and fix it. So you're sort of editing on the fly. Or the clicker method, which is what I do because I'm not coordinated enough for punch and roll, is if you make a mistake, you just click a dog clicker or snap your fingers, clap your hands, cluck your tongue, whatever way you want to do it. And that makes a sharp shape on the waveform that marks where the mistake is. And then when you're done recording, when you're editing, you just go back in, find that sharp shape, and then remove the retake. If you're talking about just raw audio, that is typically when they have an engineer in-house, or maybe this is like a full cast or a dual or a duet narration, where they still have to match you up to other people. And so they want the ability to do that themselves. So you don't have to add any kind of processing, no effects. No, you don't have to worry about ACX's standards at all. Your job is just to record the performance and send them the files, if that's what you're asking about. Leslie then says, then ask for raw audio file for review to be considered for roster. Is that punch raw or raw? I think that is raw. So punch raw might be a combination of the two. I've never heard that used before, but maybe it's punch and roll and then raw audio files, I would think. Joy says, that's what I hear. Social media is social media. And then social media for sure. All right, guys, I am going to head out of here. I know it's a little bit quicker than usual today, but again, I went from 30 to 60 miles per hour in the last 24 hours. So I've got quite a bit of work to do, and I got to go get this pot roast in the crock pot. So Dylan, this will be the last comment, but Dylan says, don't click that on the live stream. Instincts just kicked in, and I repeated what I said to my coworker in a slightly different tone. I think you meant don't forget to click that live in the live stream, right? I appreciate you, Dylan. All right, you guys, I have got to roll, but I will be here again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. If you have something that you want us to discuss here on the community live chat next week, then please leave a comment down below, and I'll consider that as a topic for a future chat. And yeah, I'll see everybody next week. I hope everybody has a fabulous one. See you then. Bye. Thank you for listening to She Lancer Mom Entrepreneur with VoiceOver Angela. That's me. For more information about me, visit my website, voiceoverangela.com, or hop on over to my YouTube channel, VoiceOver Angela. Again, thanks for listening. Have a great day.